turn the dial. You're now tuned in to this Safety Man Movement Podcast with your host, Terry the Great.
What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Safety Man Movement Podcast. I am your host, Terry Gray, and I am the Safety Man. And whether you believe it or not, so are you. Happy Friday, guys. We are here. The weekend is upon us, but we have another day to go through. So let's make sure that we begin to focus. Let's make sure that we are ready to take this head on, and have success like we've never had before. So today, guys, I am talking to you as yesterday I kind of tapped into what a little bit of the framework that the Safety Man movement kind of moves in, and there's another tier to that, and I want to talk about a little bit. If you paid any attention to the descriptions of the presentations that I give you, you will see something that talks about a safety element. You'll see something that talks about a framework, connection, action steps, and the interaction, right? And usually a primary application, because all of these three things will tap on something that's connected to the Safety Man movement idea and just the concept as a whole, because there's a lot that goes on in my mind, and there's a lot that is necessary for us to continue to thrive, to continue to be successful. And so when you see that, you see the safety element up there, it says, today's talk about, it says teams, right? The safety elements, because I have what I call the 6 elements of safety. And I believe that safety either touches on these things, and I'm sure I'll share it with you more later, but it touches on these 6 things in one way or the other. For S is security, atmosphere, family, environment, your team, and yourself. You as an individual have to own it, because that's really where it starts, your ownership. But you'll see that there's a lot of different things under that description that talks about what I'm talking about and how it connects to what thing, right? And I talked to you earlier this week, and we talked about not earlier this week, I'm just talking about yesterday specifically, where we had a brief conversation where I didn't want to rush through everything, but we were talking about caring, creating, and we were talking about collaborating. And today we're just tapping in and going a little bit further, because all of those 3 things must also, if I could give this session the title, it would be Safety Must Work at 3 Levels, right? Because there's so much more to what safety is than what we typically try to think about, right? When I began my safety rebirth journey this year, I realized that safety had always been a part of my character, but I didn't always title it or call it safety, but it had made impact, and it had been scattered throughout my entire life, whether it was protecting people, whether it was making people laugh in some capacity, whether it was having a conversation to make someone feel better in that conversation, or literally protecting someone in that type of environment. Because, I grew up with a lot of different things, and I never wanted people to have to experience discomfort. I've always been a person who've cared for people, and I'm not going to try to take too much time. I try to keep these short, but today I'm just going to share a little bit, but I promise I won't keep you too long. Make sure you get in to work on time. All right. So today, if I talk about these 3 levels, how safety has to be viewed. It has to be come from, first, a personal perspective, secondly, a cooperative perspective, and thirdly, an organizational perspective. A PCO, a personal, cooperative, and organizational, right? And so these 3 perspectives, what you should always do, no matter what you learn, you should apply what you hear personally. You should be able to apply it to your team, and it should be able to be applied to your organization, and they flow in that direction. You affect your team affects your organization. So everything has to have that. When you care, how do you care personally? How does your team care? How does your organization care? When you're talking about creating, how do you create as an individual? How do your teammates create as individuals? How does your organization get creative and make things? When you collaborate, how are you collaborating on a personal scale? How are your teams collaborating, and how does your organization collaborate? Because on each level is a total different scale and potential for things to happen, right? So when I talk about today, just my safety thought that I will share is that your personal responsibility can't repair an organization that keeps rewarding like unsafe behaviors, or your personal responsibility is needs to contribute to a cooperative effort, and that cooperative effort needs to contribute to an organizational effort. And that, when I say there's levels to it, like that works in your company, but that also works in your house. What do you do personally? What do your family do? And as each individual, what do they do special? And how do you all together, what do you bring to the table? How do you create? How do you collaborate? How do you care? How do you do those different types of things, right? So again, just to be brief, personal ownership determines how you show up. You are responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your actions. You take ownership, and you should take your responsibilities and accountability for the things that you do, the things that you say, and how you act and how you respond. You are the person, and your ownership, your responsibility, accountability determines how you show up for the organization, for your teams, for your family. So you have to think about what is your personal commitment? What is your personal level? And how will you show up for your teams? The second thing, cooperative responsibility determines how people protect one another, how we effectively help each other. What are you going to do to help somebody else? And are you able to recognize what those people are doing to help and protect you? It has to be a reciprocation. It's a bigger picture and a bigger effort than just, oh man, let's fix this, let's fix that. Man, we are in this thing together. Safety for life. All right. We have to do this thing together. Right. But the organizational responsibility determines what the system supports and sustains. Right. Because we can be creative as individuals. We can be creative as teams. But if the organization overall does not support or believe in what you're doing, it will fall at some level. It won't be able to have as big or grand of an impact that it truly could if all three of these different perspectives, these different views work together, these three different levels, right? So think about your personal way, your team, and the organization that you are working with, because we need you to be all you can be in the Army Reserves. Yeah, I ain't never heard that commercial. That's aging myself. That came from 1990 or 1980 something, right? I was born in the 1900s, so people try to make me feel old now, especially my kids. Like, man, you's a dinosaur, but I ain't that old. Anyways, safety shift, guys. And here's your safety shift for the day. Examine one concern from all three perspectives. That's what I need you to do. Examine one concern personally, to examine one concern that you have cooperatively. Examine the concern that you have organizationally. Let's think about those things, and just I'm not even called telling you to do anything. Look at those things and think about those things. How those things create, how those things are caring, and whatever perspective you choose to look at it, just examine and see where you and your teams are. And as you approach this day, try to make an impact, understanding that your personal contribution will make an impact on the people around you, and that the people around you will impact you. And you all cooperatively together will impact your organization and how things flow, right? So let's make sure that we're working together, that we got this effort going on, and that you remember each other and remember your capacity and how you should work or what you have to bring to the table, what your team has to bring to the table. There's so much more that I could share, but again, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So guys, here we are. I need you to go and share this with somebody who believes safety must work on every level, personal, cooperatively, and organizationally, and let them know and tell them to subscribe, tell them to follow, tell them to like, tell them to share, all of those good things. Go visit my website, www.safetymanmovement.com. Go ahead over there if you want to, and just keep on following, guys, because we got so much to do, so much to accomplish. The world needs us to be the best that we can be, and we have to do it together because Smin Lloyd Mateo, the safety man, is no longer one individual, but many individuals that are one. That means you, guys. I thank you. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. I hope your weekend is even better. And I'll see you guys right back here, same time, same bat station on Monday. I appreciate you, and I hope you stay safe. Talk to you guys on the other side.